Okay, so there's always this one question I always ask myself, why is so much history erased in a lot of states down south when it comes to Native American history? Why is so much of it erased? And growing up in Tennessee for the past 30 years, it was always known as the Cherokee State, right? It was always known as the Cherokee State. And they even used to teach Native American history. There used to be parts where we would have Native American History Month, in schools. Over time, it seemed like so much in a blink of an eye was forgotten about when it comes to Native American history, especially specifically, again, here in the state of Tennessee, where I live at. And a lot of people, let me not say a lot of people when it comes to this statement, right? Very little of people who I run into, right? Regardless if it was from 20 years ago or present day of now, right? And I know by this time, those who probably may have paused the video and read the screenshot that was posted, where it says there's no federally recognized tribes, right? One thing I always talked about in these videos is that you're not going to see a real federally recognized American tribes. Because, again, a very selective little people who I've run into are white people. And some of the white people that I talk to when I'm out and about, if I have within my ceremonial, Native American ceremonial robes, or anything to do with wearing something Native American, regardless if it's the clothing, jewelry. Sometimes when I'm out, right, I used to carry these ones. I retired though. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I don't think so. What's behind there? But my Native American sticks, Tahiti sticks, dream catchers, antler horns, beaded work, feathers, like this one right there, right? And I would run into, again, a very little selective of people who are mainly white saying, yeah, I'm Native American, I'm federally recognized by the tribe, or they know of me. And I always said along with that, when it comes to these conversations, is that these are the white man's tribes. It goes into, even when it comes to a lot of the black people down south, especially where we're at now, claiming they want to be native and what's all going on with that. A lot of them are being scammed or enrolled into federally recognized white people tribes. These are white people that have no native ancestral roots, no blood to them when it comes to that type of heritage, right? And these are those who throw, not to really bring religion, but throw in Christianity, Catholic into that, right? Native Americans are not Catholic and they're not Christian. We don't fall into a religion. We have spiritual beliefs. Granted, those religions were forced on us for a long time. And times when I'm out on occasions, when I'm in, my Native American stuff, right? People would stop, glance at me in awe. They would like to, they would come up, talk to me if they want, or, like to discuss what I may have on me. And their minds are so blown because it's like, wow, when I tell them what I am, their reactions is like in awe, where it's like, man, we never met a Native American before. We didn't know there's any natives down south. The more I look at history, when it just comes to that statement that I just said, is this: how much truly Native American history was down south? Because going back, even with documents that I've shared, not just have shared, but statements and knowledge of history, not a lot of native tribes never heard of Tennessee or the states within the South. Natives didn't start really migrating till down south till 1920s. Yes, there was one tribe. Everybody talks about, the 5 extinct tribes, but there's actually 6. One of them did try to make their way down here. And if you look into your history, the South, before they became states, were controlled by Spaniards, Latinos, the Spanish, Mexicans, and the French for so many years. So when one of the tribes tried to come down, they were ambushed and killed between Louisiana and Texas, right? Like, there was no survivors, no women, children, infants, nothing. But they were buried in a very hidden place that did get uncovered, by one of the hurricanes. And it didn't make big news, unfortunately. But after archaeologists and people digging, oh, it's a Native American burial ground. Yeah, it is. They uncovered a sacred burial ground from one of the extinct tribes that never got a chance to expand or grow. And it's like all the teachings just went away like that, and like people forgot like what happened, or like it never existed. That's why I ask myself, why is so much Native American history now gone and erased from the state of Tennessee? And when people see certain things of Native American artifacts or statues or paintings, right? For example, so much of the history is forgotten, so much of it's been erased. A lot of people, they're either going to hate you or they're going to like you because of it. I have been on both sides of the fences. But when something comes through like this, for example, right? Something like this comes through, a lot of people snatch it up, right? Because it's Native American. A lot of cultures, or people down here in the South, I should say, a lot of nationalities are fascinated by us, but yet they hate us so much. And when I see something Native American, I try to get it when it makes its way down here, and I feel like it's a sign of Native American history wanting to come back, or saying, hey, you know, don't forget about us, because, you know, we were once here. You know, again, Tennessee, I grew up always knowing Tennessee as the Cherokee State. That's what it was always known, called, before they changed it to the Volunteer State. Just like you're gonna have those again that just are not gonna like us when they, especially, for example, some people may get their hands on Native American paintings like such, right? Like this. And you'll see comments at people asking, you know, how much, you know, is this going to go for? I'm trying to sell it. And I would see, you know, replies, comments, you know, of a lot of ignorant stuff being said. One of the portraits that I have, which is packed away, it's like $100 portrait that I got for like $5 at Goodwill, and it's Native American. And I feel like when people stumble onto these things, when they get their hands on them, you know, they're infatuated and fascinated with awe. But I feel like, but yet they still hate us, and I feel like once they kind of get tired of looking at it, they want to get rid of it. So much